Anthony Albanese will travel to Alice Springs today, his first visit in more than a year, and it comes after a number of youth crime incidents have made headlines over the past few weeks and months. Joining me live now is Alice Springs business owner Darren Clark. Darren, great to see you. So what's happening in the town ahead of Anthony Albanese's visit?
Morning, Laura. The usual pre-visit clean-up, Laura. Yesterday we had some youth services that we haven't, patrols in the CBD that we haven't seen for at least 6 to 8 weeks. We've had people bust out of town in the last week. A big police presence yesterday. The streets are being cleaned this morning. They're tidying up. The council are blowing the streets and everything. Just with the usual, nothing to see here, Laura.
Well, I mean, that's not really going to work because we've all seen the footage from the last couple of months. We've seen what happened before and after curfew and even during curfew. When you say, they're cleaning up the streets before this visit, and I know it happens every time, who is doing it?
Well, when the curfew was announced, I know the Department of Chief Minister here, they were sending buses back out to communities, busing people out. Now, I know of at least 500 people that were bussed out at that time. Now, the buses were running again last week, full on. So something was in the air. So I don't know exactly who's been running them for the last week. I know the previous ones in the curfew were run by the Department of Chief Minister here. But it doesn't help anything, Laura, because there's nothing to see. And these children that are roaming the streets during the day, like yesterday there was 20 young girls walking around. We call them the black sock girls. They just wear black socks, no shoes. They won't be around today. Albo won't see them because they'll be in a youth centre somewhere playing PlayStations, getting takeaway food. They'll be looked after. It just doesn't help anything. I'd love the Prime Minister to go out and actually sit with some of these kids and just ask them from his heart what he can do to help them, what their lives are like, what they have to put up with. Now, last week, I personally witnessed some government housing here in Alice Springs. And Laura, bring a tear to your eye to see what these young kids, I witnessed, five kids that would have been no older than 9, and they're in a house by themselves. But I popped my head in that house, Laura, and the whole house has been used as a toilet. The light fittings are all smashed. And these kids are alone there. So if Albo's going to do a tour of town, go and see these things. Go and see the things that he can work on to help improve, open his eyes up. And I said on a radio station this morning, I've seen him on national TV shed a tear. I tell you what, if he goes and sees some of this housing that some of these poor kids have to live in, he will shed a tear. He will shed a tear because we cannot solve any of these underlying problems and create change, Laura, unless we give these kids a safe place to live and a fair shot at life, where they can sit down and have a nice meal, they can have clean clothes, they can get into a clean bed and a safe bed where they're not going to be interfered with, and they can actually have a crack at life. Go and get an education and then hopefully get a job and move forward, because otherwise this cycle never, ever will be fixed, Laura.
Darren, when I spoke to you in and around the curfew, you had a note of hope in your voice that things had temporarily improved. Now, you weren't so naive to think it could last, but have things stayed a little better since that time, or has it just gone back to what is a new normal?
No, actually, to the Chief Minister of the Northern Territory's credit, the actual CBD and those areas has actually been pretty good. And I go through them early every morning and there's hardly a soul in there. So that's a good start. It's just the suburbs, the breaking and enters into people's homes and businesses being broken into and stolen cars. But look, we had to start somewhere. That was that circuit breaker. It is the better life. It is the better life. So, but it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable because we're not going to have that level of policing. So we've just got to really get into these underlying issues, mate, and get them fixed. You know, it's going to take a long time, but we've got to give these young kids a chance, mate. That's all we can ask for. And you know, the people of Alice Springs are willing to work with whoever they have to work with to actually change the lives for the betterment of the town and for the Northern Territory. And these kids deserve a shot at life. They just need a shot at life. We'll all put our arms around them and help them out. But, you know, someone's got to rip the Band-Aids off, have a look at the underlying problems, how these kids live, how they're treated, how they're not going to school, and how we can change it. Because if you don't look at that and you don't be open and honest about it, Laura, nothing will ever change.
Well said as always, mate, and we thank you for your time. We'll see you soon.